Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And it's now time to go into Inferno 1 of the Beatdown Battle Catalyst stage for the Festive Memories team. Inferno 1 is what you need to beat in order to complete one of the panels for the Union bingo board. If we go to Chancellor Union, go to the final page, clear Inferno 1, otherwise you're going to be locked out of completing it and getting this free 5-star ticket. So that's why we're doing videos for Inferno 1 now and not like Dire 2 or something. But this stage has a bit more going on for it than what EX2 had. First off is Trainee has a butt ton more HP, and by butt ton I mean 4 million HP, because EX2 had 650 or something like that, and she now has 4.5 million. And then she's obviously more powerful, more pierce power and everything, but the most important thing is now she has the ability to cleanse herself and nullify our status effects. And if she does do that during any given turn, she'll lower your earth resistance and she will apply a protection seal to you. So before we get started, let's look at this gameplay video right here. And we're going to apply the burn. It's a purple buff, or a purple status effect to Trainee, and then we're going to send some orbs. Okay, yeah, she counters, whatever. We move forward, and then Trainee cleanses it off. Burn released. This is like removing any of our statuses, so Vengeance counterattacks, the multi-turn heals from like Earth Mirren, or the Resurrection State from Prosper Lumi, the invincibility from the Idols, that's gone. Her purple burn buff is gone, and now we have a protection seal for 2 turns. And it applies to anything that's purple applied to her. So next up we're going to apply the Vengeance from Raphael. It's another purple debuff. We're going to guard, which is cool and all, but she's going to cleanse it off again and reseal us, and so we have another 2-turn protection seal. So we have to play around that now, because we can't really apply any of this to her anymore, which does stop a lot of strategies. So that'll be pretty fun to work around. Thankfully, if you get past turn 6, specifically turn 6, the fight becomes very, very simple and easy, because she loses her pierce power and pierce rate. So turns, 4, 5, and 6, she's very dangerous, and then after that she becomes not very dangerous. It's just, can you survive turns 4, 5, and 6? Is the question. So today we got a number of teams that are going to kind of work the same way that we're going to show off, but hopefully, some of them gives you options or ideas at least of what you can attempt to use. So let's jump in. Alright, so first off we have the meta as it is right now, recording this on the 29th. We Albus, Ritus, Momiji, Tempest Elite, Benimaru, and then we've got the old 5-star Shizu and Velzard. Now, important thing to note now is that Shizu, only her first skill is done, so the fire skill. Her second skill, intentionally not fused. Velzard, her damage skill, intentionally not skill fused. So this is like a day 1 Velzard with, good gear, but nothing new has been done to her. And then Shizu's skill fusion is, 30% extra fire resistance down on 1 turn? We're not going to worry about that anyways, because we're not going to use it. Or at least not going to benefit from it. But otherwise, Benimaru for the physical buff and his special convert, and then Momiji can do oranges, Ritus can do some greens. This team is going to be, the quote-unquote meta team, but old fire DPS characters. So we're going to go with Hyperspeed, because this is a long clip. All these are pretty long. Turn 1, we're going to orb change Ritus. We'll bring in Velzard and Shizu. Turn 1, you are attack sealed for 5 turns. So you're going to have to pick and choose who is unsealed first, because you're going to have to leave them up front. And what I've discovered is that Trainee really only hits people who are sealed, unless it's an AoE or an ult. So like her 5 attacks she does in a turn, most of the time, and like 99% of the time, are going to hit people who are attack sealed only. So Velzard being here, she's probably guaranteed to be untouched. So we'll do Albus, we'll put the shield on, and another shield. We have the heal charm on because we need to survive, and if she keeps targeting only certain characters, they're going to die real fast. So Benimaru gets hit, Momiji gets hit, and Velzard is untouched. But they get hit because they have the seal. We will orb change some more. Every time we stack with Albus, we get 30% ult damage, which does help our damage output as we get into the later stages of the fight. And because we're not nuking with fire or with EX characters, we don't need a double alt gauge for Velzard. We just need to get her an alt. But 3 counters in a turn is unfortunate, and then Benimaru takes 5 hits right there. So this is why we bring the heal charm, because someone's going to get hit a lot, and you want to keep them at tippity-top shape. And we're going to take out Velzard, because I want the attack seals to run their course on Benimaru and Momiji, but especially Benimaru, because I want to use his buff early and then send Velzard away. Alright, counterattacks. She's got a super high shadow counterattack rate. I hate it. And everyone up front is sealed, so it's fair game. So if you don't want very specific people to be targeted, you're going to have to play around with who is and is not up front. But now, we've got 2 ults, and really nothing to do about it. We can orb change, certainly, and that's what we're going to do. Momiji, when she ults, it is a support ult still, so it means that Festive Memories characters will get extra weakness strike, which is her, Rita's, Shizu, and Velzard. So that does help our damage output a little bit. 25% weakness strike is really nothing to write home about, but something is better than nothing. So now we have a Velzard ult, so that's good. And then Benimaru here is about to be unsealed from his attack skill, because we've left him up front 1 turn extra. So he's unsealed, 150 points. We're going to use the physical buff now, and then we need to send Velzard away so we can hold on to that buff. And then we'll bring someone in. Anybody. And then we're going to put the shield on, orb change. The shield will go to Momiji since she has the lowest HP, and then a double stack of shield plus 2 heals for Momiji will get her nice and topped up. And this is the final turn where Trainee is scary, because you can see the Pierce buffs are about to leave on her. So if you pass this turn, you're looking pretty good. You're still going to take damage, but she goes from doing like 4k a hit to 1,000 a hit, if not less than that. And the barrier means you're going to be safe. Her ults don't hit as hard, and after you get to turn 7 and beyond, it becomes much, much easier to manage your HP. So, like, broke the barrier 762k. Like, that's a lot less than what she was hitting earlier. So now, I just want to continue stacking until we can get a halfway decent nuke with Velzard. So we're going to use the fire buff and the pierce buff on Velzard right now, and then send her away again. So this is why I say that Christmas Shizu being skill fused on her fire skill, not a big deal, because we're not nuking on this turn, so we're going to lose that fire debuff. And we're going to nuke, I think, next turn, once we have all these points back, and we can use the Momiji debuff, and then the attack buff from Velzard herself. So there's the debuff. Velzard comes in. She already has the physical buff from Benimaru already, and now we're going to nuke, and it doesn't go as well as I'd hoped, unfortunately, but 60% more ult damage right there from these 2 stacks, plus the heal, and Velzard does almost 3 million damage, which is good. It's not enough to kill, though, so we do have to continue on a little bit further and just kind of knock her down. So we're going to, I think, blow this turn out of here, and then turn 11. We have 3 ults, and we'll just do the attack buff with Velzard. And we have permanent ult damage, which means everyone's going to hit harder. And thankfully, we do finally kill on turn 11, because we have, like, 400% ult damage or something. But there is the Christmas, quote-unquote, Festive Memories meta in almost its entirety, minus Benimaru, who technically is on the banner right now. And you could swap him for a different special converter. Like, if you don't have Benimaru, you can bring Earth Guy, EX Guy, get a little bit higher alt buff for everybody, which will stack on top of Albus, get the orb change, and guaranteed crits, which will work because this is a full physical team. Certainly an option for you. Alright, different Christmas team. Once again, Albus, Ritas, Momiji. We brought free-to-play Soka, Light Soka, because she is another special converter, 1 green and 1 orange to 2 blues, and she's also a flashback character. So the last team, we got a full physical team going, so that took care of one of the missions for this stage. Another mission is to clear it with 2 flashback bizarre characters, which both Ritas and Soka are. So they're going to work. And then we've got 2 fire characters. Christmas Shuna, who is technically Festive Memories, but she's magic. And then we've got the Ogre's Pride Shuna. So we now have 2 single-target fire nukers who will be able to do halfway decent damage. And then Ogre's Pride Shuna specifically, giving herself weakness strike and 120% magic buff, means that she's going to do a literal butt ton of damage. But essentially, the team runs the exact same way. Now we just need to get an EX ult for at least Ogre's Pride Shuna. She's going to be our strongest nuking character. But you still have to let the attack seal wear off on Momiji. Our frontline units, only her does that matter because Sokka and Ritas don't have attack skills, and we left our 2 fire nukers in the back, so their skills aren't even nerfed to begin with, and that's a terrible hand. So let's come back on turn 2, and technically, we're resetting again. Okay, there, turn 2. We had a full hand of oranges, so we can convert it. There we go. So now we just need to get an EX ult for Ogre's Pride Shuna, and however you want to do that is however you want to do that. But I believe we also have the heal charm on this team as well to keep everyone topped up. So another convert there. We'll bring Sokka in. We need to leave Momiji up front, but that also means she's going to be the only person sealed, which means she's the only one who's going to get hit unless we bring Ritas in. So boom, pop in, and then there's the heal on Momiji just to keep her nice and topped up. We'll send these orbs. Counterattacks suck. And, I mean, it's the same thing. So I don't think we need to sit here for 3 more turns. You just need to survive. If Momiji gets too low, you can swap her out for a couple turns, and you'll just have to, just means you'll have to wait even longer for the attack seal to go away. But on the plus side is that once you're past turn 6, she doesn't do as much damage, so she's not in as much danger. So let's skip ahead to turn 6. Turn 6. Yeah, there we go. The good thing about Ogre's Pride Shuna is that she has a triple ult swap to blues, which you're going to get a lot of ults for this team if you're going to sit here for this long. So here, on turn 6, you get hit. Ouch, ouch, ouch. But we are ready to go. So we've already used Shuna's buff. Already. She's had an EX ult, and we've already used it on her, so she's good to go. We used the debuff, and now we use the synergy power buff, another stack of Albus, and now we've got 2 single targets and some damage, 800k, and then she does 3.39 million damage, which is enough with everything else that we've tacked on. And that's only turn 7. So that is a different kind of fire Christmas-ish team that you can use to clear Inferno 1. This time you've got the 2 flashback beatdown character mission complete. And if you don't have Sokka, just you could bring Summer Ramirez or someone, just any free character that does a special convert to blues. Space Frey, I guess, can work, but she's got type disadvantage. Really, anybody that can self-convert, because Ritas is doing greens only, Momiji's doing oranges only. You want to have that versatility of having a special convert in your back pocket. Now, if you happen to have wailed for the almost complete, the complete Ogre's Pride meta, plus Elmesia, plus Violet, like, this also gives you extra damage against Earth. You have 2 strong fire nuking characters, whether it be AoE Momiji or single target Shuna again. Elmesia's got ult up and ult down. Violet's got orb changing. Soe's got orb changing. You don't really need all of this power to take this stage on, but it certainly does help a bit to be that strong. So we're going to cut to turn 2. We're going to get hit a little bit. All right, the orbs aren't super great. This is now turn 3. I mean, the beginning of the fight is still the same here. But we're not so much concerned because we're going to get extra damage with a nuking character, so you don't really even need an EX ult for anybody. You just need to get an ult and some points for Shuna. So you can use at least like the 2 Momiji buffs and the Shuna buff at minimum. And then you could kind of safely nuke. But Violet dies right there, so thanks a butt ton, because she was sealed, and she was the only one up front that had the seal, so she got super targeted. So that's the end of that run. Coming back, though, new turn 4, looks a lot better. We now have a Shuna ult, because we had a butt ton, and Soe, because he didn't have type disadvantage, didn't die there, thank God. So we'll ult swap, we'll orb change, Shuna has an ult, that's cool and everything, and now we're going to send both of them away after the stacks don't really matter. So, boom, Benimaru, and then he's going to give us a little bit of a heal, and then we're still going to kind of get them out. We cannot use the Enamour effect from Elmesia, though, because that is another purple status effect, which training would cleanse, and then she would seal us. So, even though you want to get a lot of ult gauge, you cannot use it to artificially rush, because you would put yourself in a hole. So turn 4, we are very close to getting a Shuna ult or EX ult, so that's good. Almesius survives with a nut tap of HP again. I don't know why I don't take Momiji out and bring someone else in and let them, spread target damage around, but we're going to be okay. And we don't have enough points to full nuke yet, so we need to go probably at least one more turn before we actually get the amount of points needed to use 3 80-point skills. 4 if you want to be really, really lucky about it, but I don't know if you have the HP to do such things. So I will come in. Trainee still has her Pierce buff, so this is a dangerous play right here that we're going to just leave Soe up front and pray that he doesn't die, because we're going to heal him twice. The ult might not hit him, which would actually save him a butt ton of damage. But the alternative is that he gets hit, and then hit 5 more times. So we just have to pray here. But now we have 350 points. Alright, cheeky counter, thanks for that. And we have no stack. We're not even going to get the Pierce power from Benimaru, because that only happens on turn 8. But I want out of this fight as quick as possible. So we skip this. She hits Momiji. Great. Instant damage. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Soe does unfortunately die. So this is not a perfect run, but we have points. And we have an EX ult and a normal ult. And we have some power. So we're just going to nuke here. Take an L. Well, not an L, it's a W, but we did lose someone. But we have enough to use 4 big-time skills, which will guarantee that we're going to get the kill now. So we'll send Momiji, then we'll send Shuna. Shuna being single target with the personal magic buff means that we're going to do a lot with her. Momiji does 1.2, Shuna does 3.5. So Ogre's Pride, certainly an option for you. If you happen to have the Konosuba team with Megamine and Kazuma and Aqua, like if you are a longtime player, they also give extra damage against Earth, so you could probably use the same kind of team and get around that somehow with some powerful buffs. That is an option as well. Alright, so I think we've proven that, if you have the right units and you have damage mitigation, almost any blue team can get this job done. So we did the Festive Memories, we did the Ogre's Pride. We've got a team after this, but this is the Commander team. So Renard, Diablo for the Synergy power buff, Hinata, Glenda, because she's free to play and she's got the double ult swap and she works on the team. We don't need her Synergy skill because we're going to get it from Diablo eventually. And then we've got AoE Fire Shizu, who's going to be our primary damage dealer. And then we've got Skill Fused Earth Trainee, who can heal us, put the little bit of pierce resistance down so the other trainee doesn't hit us as hard, and give us that ult damage resistance. So again, this is an exercise in living to turn 6, and then you can maintain your HP after that between the heal charm on Renard and the heals from trainee. And because you have the multi-use skill, if you need to, you could pop that and then heal twice with trainee if it really comes down to it. But first 6 turns, it's all the same, so we're on, we jump to turn 4. We're looking for full hands of blues, trying to get as many points as possible. I know I'm skipping around a lot, but, quite honestly, you're either winning the fight or you're losing the fight by, turn 5. That's how you know that you're going to be in a run or you're kind of fucked. So here, we have 2 sealed units, so they split the damage, which is fine. We can take one of them out. So we're going to take Diablo out. He's kind of important in the future. And then we're going to heal here. Boom, boom, boom. And then the leftover damage that we're missing, the Charm will take care of from the double stack of Renard. And then we've applied the ult resistance here. And the Pierce down. So she'll do slightly less damage. So here, 5,000 damage. Alright, instant. And then Hinata dies. So that's quite unfortunate. So we're going to have to come back. On turn 5 again. And like I said, your run is either set or lost on turn 5. Turn 6 is scary, but she doesn't hit you 6 times in a row after the ult. She does the ult and then AoE, and so you're not in as much danger on turn 6. So if you can survive turn 5 like this, where you can have 2 units kind of spread the damage, even though Glenda's type disadvantage, now we're pretty good. Hinata is really low, but we can heal that. So she'll come in, and we will orb change and then heal. And as long as we can now live this, we're going to be okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're constantly getting more damage done with Shizu, at least, because of the weakness strike. But there, even though Hinata took the ult and then the AoE, she still survived. So now we're pretty good. We're going to heal back a lot of this. We're going to have a lot of blue orbs. We're going to be able to ult swap now. And in order to get the max amount of damage, you have to now start bringing Diablo in to unseal his skill in some way, shape, or form. Once we can get some points back, once we can heal him, once we can get some charm heals as well from the Protector. Glenda is not... she's very necessary for the team because of the double ult swap. But again, her skill, which is synergy rate and like 20% physical resistance down, not nearly as important as 100% synergy power from Diablo, who hits everybody. So prioritize him. She's going to be necessary to do this because we need to ult. But on turn 9, we have an EX ult for Shizu. We can go one more turn without without nuking, because we can at least get a Hinata ult, and then we can kind of gauge how much damage we're going to do here. I don't ever pause and show what the stacks are at, just know that it's high because we're going to be on turn 10. And so this is a good kind of indication of where our damage is going to be. So AoE, instant damage, we're ready to ult technically. We don't have access to Diablo yet because we haven't brought him in as much, but we can do the physical buff, the EX ult damage, the normal ult damage, and the synergy down doesn't matter right now. But let's see. We'll bring Diablo in, and he'll need 2 more turns before he's done. But Shizu does 1 million. Hinata does 540. So we have a ways to go. And a ways to go being another 6 turns. So now we've got a single target EX ult with Hinata, 1 AoE ult, a normal AoE ult Shizu, but now we can use the synergy buff from Diablo. It took a hot minute to get there. So now we'll do all the buffs. We'll heal. We have a full hand of green, so we're banking on this turn killing here. And then 1 more stack of Renard, and then we'll send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't need it, because Shizu does 2.2 million with the synergy buff active, alongside this now synergy resistance down that we can take advantage of from Hinata. So if you can build a reliable blue team that can output some sort of damage and negate, whether it be Trainee or Soe or next team we're going to have Light Shizu that's skill fused, like you can survive and you can get Inferno 1 done. You just need a solid team to do so. Alright, the final team I have for at least this video is going to be the Warrior's Mind team. So Velzard, Guy, Violet, because of her orb change and her pretty powerful debuff, which is skill fused. And then we have free-to-play Misery. So she changes Primal Demon orbs, oranges to blues, which we have 3 Primal Demons, and she can single ult swap a Primal Demon ult, which primarily we're going to be rocking Guy's ult. He's going to be our strong single target. We once again have brought Light Shizu to mitigate the damage that we're going to take. And then we brought Fount of Wisdom Rimuru for more orb changing. He is also skill fused. And his physical buff. But notice that we are not bringing any other kind of defense. We're not bringing a stun character. We're just going to outlast this until after turn 6, after Trainee gets scary. And then we're just going to survive by healing back up with a heal charm on Velzard as well. This run takes a long time. And by long, I mean a really long time, because this team is very old. Even though we have a lot of powerful buffs and we're getting attack stacks with Velzard, it's not, we're type neutral, and it takes a long time. So you still need good RNG for turn 2. So here, because Rimuru's skill fused, we can use his orb change and keep Guy at 50 cost for now. We're going to bring Violet in. Normally we would leave her in the back, but she's sealed. So we need her to be unsealed, but we're going to be here for a hot minute. So I'm not really worried about the seal. I'm worried about her getting attack stacks, though. Being type disadvantage, we do want her to hit as hard as possible, because she's really... it's only her and Guy that are getting the attack stacks anyway, so we do want to maximize that. but I also do want that seal to go away sometime. So we'll bring her in to get attack stacks and we'll send her away. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, not a big deal. But the primary focus is getting EX alts with Guy, and getting him with his ult buff and guaranteed crits and Fount of Wisdom Rimuru's buff and the Violet skill. And you do this over and over and over and over and over again. So here, we're just going to send the Shizu ult because we wouldn't alt swap it anyways, because Misery only changes Primal Demon alts to blues, so she wouldn't hit Velzard, or she wouldn't hit Shizu. We're on turn 5. We're going to heal Guy back up. He's the only one taking the hits intentionally because he's also my strongest character. And if we can mitigate that damage by guarding, by healing, then we're going to be looking fairly good. So boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have enough points to really buff up or anything, so I'm not worried about setting that ult free of charge. Took a lot of damage there. We can heal it back though, so boom. And then we've got orb changing to do here. So 1, 2, boom, boom. This is the final turn where Trainee is scary, but she should now spread the damage out because nobody is sealed at this point. So everyone is free game, which should help our damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically, yeah. But now it's turn 7. She no longer has the Pierce buff, and now she hits kind of like a wet fish. Even against Guy, like, she's not going to do a lot of damage anymore. So Violet, no longer really in super big danger. So we can bring her in and we can start really getting attack stacks. And now we can start building up the EX ult for Guy, because we're getting a lot of points back. And this is what's going to be really, really necessary. You can use a heal charm. I also went through and used a skill point on blue charm, because things will get expensive using heals and using guards everywhere, because we're still going to take damage, it's just not nearly as much, and the alt swap is going to cost a lot after a while. So sometimes you do want to also run a skill point charm instead of the heal charm, because if you can mitigate it with Shizu, you can kind of get around it. But we're on turn 9, we haven't even really full nuked yet, so let's skip ahead to turn 10? Turn 11, sorry. Here's where we can do some big damage, quote unquote, right? So we're going to use all the buffs, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will change all the orbs, plus give us the primary buffs. We can do another stack of Velzard. And now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Violet does 207, not great. Guy does 1.2 million damage, and it was very quick to see, but he does 1.2. We're not even a half HP yet. So this is going to take a long-ass time. So now we're on turn 20. And we have another EX ult. We have more points. So let's go ahead and nuke. Now we have a Rimuru ult as well. Cool, I guess. But another stack. And now we can finally kill. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 116. 319. 1.95 million. So that is just another stacking team that can get the job done slowly but surely. We have a full physical setup. We only have one free-to-play character, unfortunately, but Shizu, again, is a very necessary component to living 20 turns, especially for the first 6 turns, because of all that Pierce power. But those are a couple different teams you can use that can clear Inferno 1. Obviously, Inferno 1 is endgame difficulty, so new to mid-game players, you know, you can try with whatever team you have, but chances are you just don't have the gear and the stats and up to do this, so you might just have to take that L on the bingo board. I really wish they would change that personally, but right now it's what we have to work with. So if this video helped you out, let me know in the comments below. If you have any other teams that you found to work, please let me know. I will have a second video coming out for this, which is focused on stunning, so stay tuned for that. But that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.